In our lesson for May 15th, we're going to look at Acts chapter 9, last part of the chapter. First part was Paul's conversion. We're going to look at the last part of the chapter, and we're going to look at one of the great New Testament Christian women. Think about it. Nobody in human history probably has so exalted women and so furthered their cause as has Jesus. Think about how he, for example, revealed some of his greatest insights to women. Think about John chapter 4, verse 24, the woman at the well in Samaria, how Jesus talked to her and shared things with her and said to her, gave this remarkable revelation. He said, God is spirit and his worshipers must worship him in spirit and truth. He revealed special things to women. He also spoke of them with some of his finest praise. For example, Matthew 15:28, he says about a woman, a Syrophoenician mother, "Woman, you have a great faith." So it's not surprising when we study the New Testament, particularly the book of Acts, that we see the important role that women play in the founding of the church, in the spread of the Christian movement, and even in the leadership of the first century church. One Roman pagan in the second century made this statement. He said, "What women these Christians have." One of those dynamic and great Christian women that we read about in the New Testament is the one who is the focal point for our lesson this week. Her name is Dorcas, and her story is told in just a few short verses in Acts chapter 9, verses 36 to 43. The event in our text takes place in Joppa, a city on the Mediterranean coast. Her name, according to the book of Acts, is Dorcas, which is the Greek name. But the Aramaic name, and we have this in our verse, the Aramaic name is Tabitha, verse 36. Dorcas, Tabitha, both of these names are found here. Luke calls her in our text a disciple. Verse 36, in Joppa there was a disciple named Dorcas. Now that word disciple has a general meaning. It means one who follows someone else or one who learns in the school of someone else. So it means a follower. But in this particular text, it has a specific meaning. He refers to her as a disciple of Jesus Christ. So here's a woman who believes in Jesus and is a part of the church community in the city of Joppa. He also tells us about her character, you might say, or her Christian service. He says she was always doing good and helping the poor. So here is a woman believer in the first century church who not only clearly believes in Jesus Christ, but also allows that faith in Jesus Christ to manifest itself in how she relates to other people. And like Barnabas, we talked about earlier, she sees a need and she's going to meet that need. Barnabas, you remember, sold a piece of land, gave it to the church. The money was used to meet those needs. But she's going to be more hands-on in her provision. She actually makes clothes for those who have needs and gives those clothes to them. We have a Christian woman who is compassionate in her care for those who are around us. But then, Luke tells us in verse 37, in verse 37, he tells us that this Christian woman becomes sick and she dies. So we're introduced to her, we quickly come to the end of her life. Luke explains at this point why Peter leaves. They send for Peter and he comes to Joppa where she is, and Peter is going to be involved with her in the encounter that is described in our text. When Peter arrives, verse 39, he finds that she is already dead, she's upstairs, and all of the widows now are standing around. They're crying and showing him the robes and the other clothing that Dorcas had made while she was still with him. So here is a woman who's dead. We have these women now who come to support her, weep over her, and they have in their hands the tangible expressions of her love.